This is your Barbados Today evening news update for Wednesday, November 25. Government is set to meet with stakeholders in the sugar industry to discuss a new strategic direction for the sector. Word of this from Prime Minister Mia Mottley as she addressed a ceremony to launch a special limited rum by Mount Gay Distilleries today, called the Republic Blend.
Before the end of this year, be meeting with the sector because we believe that the time has come for us to be strategic in how we move forward with our sugar industry, recognizing that it requires multiple decisions, including the reality that our power factory cannot be a 3-month power factory if the industry is to be successful, and that we must transition it to a 12-month power factory. But recognizing as well that we have reached the point where the government of Barbados can no longer be the underwriter of the sugar industry in circumstances where the economic and financial opportunities are clearly there.
Mount Gay's master blender, Trudy Ann Branker, said it was an immense honor to create the blend, which will be limited to 195 bottles.
This blend is special as it was crafted in celebration of this monumentous occasion of Barbados becoming a republic. Its characteristics and components represent a snapshot in time. The blend whose attributes are truly unique and cannot be replicated. The Republic Blend showcases our oldest reserves of pot and common rum, aged from 10 to 30 years. The unique combination of rums presents on the aroma with the characteristic local flavors of vanilla and banana, complemented on the palate by oak and dark chocolate. The Republic Blend is 45% alcohol, and it showcases the mastery of rum making, as everything you will experience is a build-up to the process.
In other news, amid ongoing public debate over Barbados' transition to a republic, one academic suggests that the Mia Mottley administration has no legal obligation to consult Barbadians on the move. Professor Eddie Ventos, Dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of the West Indies Cave campus, shared this assessment today as he addressed a Rotary online event, From Monarchy to Republic, in the context of the Barbados Constitution. He noted that while morally and politically correct, government could have decided to hold a referenda on the matter. It was also not a requirement.
There can be no dispute that when Parliament of Barbados met in October, I believe, a few weeks ago, and passed the Constitutional Amendment Act, it was done with a vote of no less than 2/3 of all members of the House. Therefore, the provisions relating to the transition, the amendment of the Barbados Constitution to make provision for Barbados to become a republic by amending those sections were amended in accordance with the law of Barbados, the constitutional law that is passing with a vote of no less than 2/3 of all the members of the House.
Religious leaders today pushed back on suggestions made in Parliament on Tuesday that their objection to some statements in the Charter of Barbados breached the separation of church and state. Speaking at a press conference today organized by opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley, Reverend Paul Leacott said churches are not seeking preferential treatment, but they want an audience with the government to discuss their concerns about the Charter.
It's not an issue here at all. We're not asking to be conjoined to the state. That's not our principle, that's not our thrust, that's not our desire. I believe that the official church was decoupled from the state in the time of our first Prime Minister. That's not an issue here. The issue is if you're removing sovereign God out of your principal documents for our republic, what then is the philosophical basis of the laws and the moral values that you want to see pertain in the country? That's the sticking point.
Reverend Gittins cautions that the Charter will have serious philosophical implications for laws being passed in the future, and they need to be clear on government's future direction.
1966 Independence Constitution, retained and reiterated in the report of the Ford Commission, 1998, and overtly expressed in the Constitution and National Anthem. The sovereignty of God is indicative of the basis of our laws and moral values which are the foundational component to our society, which has enabled Barbados to forge the just and orderly society that we have. And government explanation so far has been that the exclusion was to accommodate other faith groups outside of the dominant Christian faith. However, this explanation we find to be woefully inadequate.
Meantime, opposition leader Bishop Joseph Avali is questioning whether the government intends to recognize domestic partners once the island becomes a republic. He suggested that the inclusion of sexual orientation in the charter will frame how legislation is drafted going forward.
I remind you that last year as well, this same parliament and this same government brought and passed legislation with respect to opening the doors to certain relationship constructs in the context of the Welcome Stamp initiative. That construct called, what's it called? Social domestic partners. And in the legislation on anti-discrimination with respect to employment opportunity. So 2 pieces of legislation significantly have been passed in Barbados in recent time, which give a clear indication as to where we are going. This charter, in my view, exaggerates that understanding, makes even easier to understand, to track where this government intends to go. And if the document is an expression of intent, I say again, intention can only be actualized when you, in fact, put legislation in place or introduce policies to give expression and actualization to that legislation.
3 more Barbadians have succumbed to COVID-19. A 91-year-old woman lost the battle with the virus yesterday at the Harrison Point Isolation Facility. She was unvaccinated. 2 men aged 78 and 94 died today at the Harrison Point and Queen's College isolation facilities. They were both unvaccinated. The COVID-19 death toll now stands at 218.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, my name is Christian Paul. I'm the country manager of BCIC here in Barbados. When the COVID vaccine first came out, I thought it was an interesting and a potentially successful way for us to navigate our way out of the pandemic and a return to some state of normalcy. I took the vaccine because I have a young family. I want to make sure that they are safe and protected. I have friends, extended family, and obviously I work here with colleagues, so I thought it was a good way to help protect them and to keep them safe, as well as myself. I would encourage others to take the vaccine because I know that you can still transmit the disease even if you're vaccinated, but the chances of being severely ill or worse, dying are significantly reduced.
Let's roll up our sleeves and get back to living.
To regional news now, an Antigua woman will be going to space possibly with her daughter after winning 2 seats aboard a Virgin Galactic commercial space flight. Keisha Savraf was announced the winner of the Virgin Galactic and Sir Richard Branson's Amaze fundraising sweepstakes on Wednesday, and she hoped to take her 17-year-old daughter, an astrophysics student, along for the trip that is almost worth US $1 million. Tickets are currently on sale for US $450,000 each. We get the details from Antigua Newsroom.
Thank you. My heart is like...
You're gonna be an astronaut.
Anna.
Hi, Anna. You and your mother are going to space.
Anna, we won! Wow!
So you would be the first astronaut from Antigua, of course.
I'm making history.
You're making history. So are you ready to see the anticipated race? So we project $1.7 million is going to be able to empower people to go to space. You want to talk about what that'll mean for you guys?
Yeah, I'm so moved right now. This is transformational for our organization. The perspective that astronauts gain from going to space and looking and seeing this interconnected, fragile, beautiful planet, we believe that this is the most important perspective that we can take on right now. And so this gift will help us to make the world a better place.
Well, I need tissues. I couldn't be more excited for Keisha and our friends at Space for Humanity. It's truly a win-win. And from all of us here, thank you so much for donating and for being a part of the Amaze community.
On the international front, at least 11 miners died in a coal mining accident in Russia's Siberia, and the operation to rescue dozens more people stuck underground was suspended due to the risk of an explosion, authorities said. We get more in the report from Reuters TV.
Local authorities and emergency services said an operation to rescue dozens more people underground was suspended due to the risk of an explosion. TASS news agency reported that coal dust caught fire in a ventilation shaft in a mine more than 2,000 miles east of Moscow early on Thursday. Dozens were being treated in hospital, a number with smoke poisoning. Rescue workers and ambulances could be seen arriving at the mine's compound, with police huddled outside in the snowy conditions. Regional Governor Sergei Tsavilev said there were communications issues with those still trapped.
There is no major smoke there, so let's hope there is no fire. But we have no contact with these people. The communication system doesn't work, but the electricity is working properly. The ventilation is working. The air is being pumped.
The Kremlin said President Vladimir Putin had ordered the emergencies minister to fly out to the region to help with the operation.
That's news, but for the very latest, you can visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD, 99.3 FM.